This is the new generation Ram 1500. This is the top spec variant, the limited, a luxurious monster truck if ever I've seen one. This is a modern utility vehicle in the true sense of the word. A 5.7 litre Hemi V8, 4.5 tonne towing capacity, a stack of safety tech all wrapped up in a luxurious package. But is this full-size pickup worth your consideration? Well, that's what we're here to find out, so stick around. Now in this video I'm going to give you plenty of information about the Ram 1500, but if you want to skip to something in particular, the time codes are here, and if you're watching this video on YouTube, the chapter markers are below. If you're watching this video on YouTube, hit like, share it with your mates, and make sure you hit subscribe and tap that bell icon to stay up to date with all of our content. This new Ram lineup is designated the DT series, and it is a two variant range made up of the Laramie and the Limited, but there is also a limited launch edition available, so check with your Ram dealer for more information on that. Pricing details for the DT series lineup are on screen now. You'll notice that the Rambox cargo management system, more about that later, adds almost $5,000 to the cost of a Laramie, but it is a standard onboard feature in the Ram 1500 Limited. Ram utes imported by Ram Trucks Australia are all remanufactured from left to right hand drive by the Walkinshaw Group in Melbourne. As you'd expect at this price, the standard features list is an extensive one and includes 4-corner air suspension, that 19-speaker sound system, premium leather trimmed seats, a 360-degree surround view camera, and much more. We'll put the Ram's dimensions up on screen now, but if you're after all of the nitty-gritty details, that's including specs and everything, read my full written review at the CarsGuide website. But for now, let's take a closer look at the exterior of this big mongrel, and we'll start from the front. You can't help but notice that big Ram branded sporty grille and those recovery points. They look pretty solid. The 22-inch black painted aluminium wheels. There are retractable side steps. They're pretty handy, but watch your shins climbing in and out. The exterior paint on this is a variation of silver, but diamond black and granite crystal are two other options. The limited variant comes standard with a ram box either side of the tub. And speaking of the tub, I'm going to drop the tailgate old school using good old muscle power, but you can lower it using the key fob. I really like this load space. It's versatile and it's functional, from the grippy textured tub liner through to these 4 movable tie-down cleats in the top rail, as well as 4 rigid tie-down points in the tub itself. And you also have the cargo separation barrier, and you can move that back and forth. You also get these lights, and there's a soft trifold cover to protect everything in the back from the elements. But as well as all that, you get the handy Ram box either side, 210 litres of storage capacity. And let me show you some of the nifty things about those. So these are really handy features, and they're either side of the tub space. They make use of what otherwise be a dead area over the wheel arches here. I've got a first aid kit and a tool bag in here, but you can pretty much throw whatever you want to fit that space. You also get a power socket here. And these Ram boxes really add a nice dimension to your ability to store gear. So when you climb into the cabin of the Ram 1500, it really is plainly obvious how massive it is. It's a gigantic space, and it's a space that's comfortable as well equipped. There's plenty of cup holders and storage spaces in the door, the usual stuff you'd expect, but there are charge points for your smart devices and clever little things like this massive center armrest here with a little bit of a shallow shelf there, cup holders there for people to squabble over. But those are only some of the clever storage spaces in this cabin. There are so many, I can't get through them right now, so forgive me. But another notable one is you can fold this seat base up, and that opens up this whole area for all your luggage if you're traveling 2 up only in the Ram. Not forgetting that these 2 outboard seats are heated. So in the back here, you really are spoiled. So what really grabs your attention in the cabin, especially up front, is the use of those premium materials. There are soft touch surfaces everywhere, plenty of Ram branding. As well as that though is the intuitive use of space. There are storage spaces everywhere in here, and I mean everywhere. Massive center console, and it slides back and forward just to give you a bit more flexibility with what you can put in here and how you can access it. There are also plenty of opportunities to charge your devices with USBs and a power socket up on the dash top there. And don't forget the powered sunroof. Beyond that, it really is a plush space, and it'd want to be for that hefty price tag. The steering wheel is heated. The two seats up front are heated, as well as the outboard seats in the back. What really dominates the dash though is that massive 12-inch Uconnect multimedia touchscreen. It's in a portrait layout. All the buttons are easy to get your head around and to navigate. There are some buttons down either side, but you can operate pretty much everything in the cabin from that screen. But as well, there are steering wheel mounted controls for adaptive cruise control and all those sorts of things. So everything is easy and it's right at hand to use. The new Ram variants have a 5.7 litre Hemi petrol V8 engine, and that produces 291 kilowatts and 556 newton meters. They have an 8-speed automatic transmission and a full-time on-demand four-wheel drive system. These all-new models also have the new eTorque mild hybrid system, and that's aimed at improving efficiency and drivability. This system combines a belt drive motor generator unit with a 48-volt battery pack to enable start-stop function, short-term torque assist and brake energy regeneration. So one of the first things you notice in the Ram 1500 Limited is, despite it being such a gargantuan full-size pickup truck, it is a real easy vehicle to steer around. It feels quite light and nimble, and that's largely due to the steering, which is well weighted and nicely balanced. It never feels like you're trying to turn a tugboat around the place. And that big 5.7 litre Hemi V8 just rumbles you along, and it's such a fuss-free and unstressed driving experience that you could really go all day. And on that air suspension at all corners, which settles you down to a nice aerodynamic ride height as you pick up speed, unreal. The 8-speed transmission is not wishy-washy, it really is quite intuitive and cluey. It never stretches around to try and find the sweet spot. It just sort of keeps things ticking along at a nice even-handed pace. It's such a comfortable cabin, and it's so refined, and the materials are so nice to touch and spend time in. You really could, I don't know, throw the sleeping bag in here and have a kip for a while, which is not recommended when you're trying to drive. And noise levels inside this cocoon cabin are so well subdued, you can barely hear anything. Even with everything turned off, all of the audio equipment, that 19-speaker sound system, and the aircon, you can only hear the barest of V8 rumbles just in the background, and to me, that's a welcome soundtrack. Quite possibly one of the main reasons this is such a nice vehicle to drive and it handles so well is to do with its sheer size. I mean, that length and width and height, and its longer wheelbase than what you might expect of a normal ute in Australia really keep things spread out and low and balanced, and it always feels safe and it always feels comfortable. And visibility with all of this glass around is as good as can be expected. It is great. You can see forward and to the sides and down the back without too much in the way of obstacles to your vision. Now, I have to mention the fact that the Laramie misses out on a fair bit of driver assist tech that the Limited has on board. But in the Laramie, you can option up with a driver assistance package to sort that out. Once you've spent a little bit of time behind the wheel in this Ram 1500 Limited, the size is a non-issue. It really isn't a factor when it comes to daily driving or weekend touring, because it handles its bulk so well and drives so nicely that you really don't notice it after a while. The Ram 1500 Limited is so refined, so comfortable and so practical, and it really does have a luxurious feel and look to it inside and out, that it sets the gold standard for full-size trucks in Australia. Now, we've tested it on road, but I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes towing and how it goes with some real low-range hardcore four-wheel driving. And rest assured, those tests are in the pipeline. The new Ram 1500 does not have an ANCAP safety rating, but having said that, as standard, the Limited gets a stack of safety tech, such as parallel perpendicular parking assist, a surround view monitor, blind spot monitoring and more. The Laramie misses out on a lot of that driver assist tech, but those features can be optioned with the $4,950 driver assistance pack. The Ram 1500 has a 98 litre fuel tank. Official fuel consumption is 12.2 litres per 100 kilometres, and that's on a combined cycle. Our actual on-test fuel consumption is on screen now. This ute has a 3-year 100,000 kilometre warranty. Roadside assist is available for 3 years or every 100,000 kilometres, and service intervals are scheduled for every 12 months or 12,000 kilometres. This new Ram is so refined, so comfortable and so very practical. It really has set the bar the highest it's ever been for full-size pickup trucks here in Australia. It's got plenty of grunt, it's got plenty of safety tech, and it really does drive like no ute ever has before. But what do you reckon? Would you own one? Is it your cup of tea? Have your say in the comments section below.